It's the fourth week of Lent and it's year C, so therefore it's the magnificent parable of the prodigal son. There's a number of parables in chapter 15 of St. Luke's Gospel, and the parable of the prodigal son is the preeminent one, I guess. They're all very well presented by Luke, who, as we know, is a doctor, a man of science, and has gone about taken a lot of trouble to really confirm the early community in faith, and therefore confirm what we have received ourselves by really making a detailed analysis of how Christ lived and taught, what he said, what he did. And so he comes and he puts together these parables in chapter 15. The preeminent one, as I said, is the parable of the prodigal son. It has been depicted in art over history in the most beautiful of ways. Some of you would think of Rembrandt's beautiful Prodigal Son. The one that I most like, it's only my own personal preference, is Esteban Bartolomé Murillo, the Spanish painter. I find it to be so colourful and so full of joy, but also it's got a sort of a resurrectional tone. Have a look at the image online or at some place that you can see the image. The original painting hangs in the Washington Art Gallery, and when you go there, it's like there's a sort of a lifting up. It's like a resurrectional moment. It's profoundly beautiful. The parable is so wonderful. You can take lots of things out of it. The thing that I think that I might simply say to you today is that what the parable does is give us the unconditional love of God. That is, that our relationship with God has no conditions on it. So what I mean by that is, often in our life we can say to God, God, if you do this, then I'll do that. We sort of can bargain with God. So God, if you do such and such, then I'll respond in this fashion. Or we can flip it and say, God, if I do such and such, will you do such and such for me? And so because of the way we do operate as human beings, it's easy to fall into this idea that our relationship with God is full of ifs. If God does this, then I'll do this. If I do this, then God. But in fact, of course, the relationship is not an if. The relationship that God has with us and that we should have with Him is an is. God just is love. God is love, says St. John in his letter. And he rams that home in various ways. And here Luke gives us the parable of the great is. This is the love of God. This is the love of the Father. And he puts before us and puts into relief two brothers, the older brother and the younger brother, both in need of conversion. Both in need of conversion, and God coming to them and saying, look, I'm right here for you. Everything I have is yours. Amazing that God would say that to us. So let's try not to be too much in the realm of the if, but rather in the is, and that will be a very good thing to do during this period of Lent, and encourage others to see our relationship with God to be the same.